In the words of the wise sage and poet Kanye West, the system broken. In fact, so broken that you can now steal your very own election. The first way to steal an election? Gerrymander. What does that even mean? Gerrymandering is when the lines of a voting district are redrawn so that a certain political party can have an advantage in winning an election. And that means more seats for that particular party. In most states, this process is controlled by the majority party in the state legislature. Take Pennsylvania, for example. In 2010, the GOP-controlled legislature redrew the congressional district map in their favor. And that meant that when the 2012 midterm elections came around, despite only getting 49% of the popular vote, Republicans walked away with 72% of Pennsylvania's congressional seats. Yeah, that's legal. Still not convinced? Well, you can also steal an election by changing state laws in order to make it harder for voters who oppose you to even get to the polls. Yeah. The 1965 Voting Rights Act was a groundbreaking piece of legislation, and in 2013, a Supreme Court decision basically nullified a big part of it. Thanks to SCOTUS, 9 states, mostly in the South, were given the right to make minor changes to their voting laws without getting federal approval. What have those minor changes looked like? Asking for photo ID at the polls. Initiatives to fight voter fraud, usually led by Republicans, have resulted in over a dozen states adopting strict and non-strict photo ID laws. But there's not that much evidence to support the idea that voter fraud is an epidemic, let alone a problem. What is clear, though, is that these laws are keeping people away from the polls. People who are young, people who are black, people who are poor. Now, why would the GOP want to keep them from the polls? If changing district lines or keeping people disenfranchised doesn't work, you can always exercise your right to free speech. In 2010, the Supreme Court voted to recognize independent expenditures for political campaigns as free speech. What does that all even mean? An independent expenditure as free speech means that super PACs can spend an unlimited amount of money on campaigns and candidates they want to support. But that's meant the rise of dark money, which is when big donors donate to non-profit groups who don't have to disclose where the cash is coming from. In 2012 alone, these nonprofits spent more than $250 million on campaigns. And so far this election cycle, more than $700 million has been spent through independent expenditures. That's a tall, skinny vanilla latte from Starbucks every day of the year for more than 515,000 years. So with a system so broken, how is anyone going to fix it?